evening. This is the Vsb Tv 11 News for Wednesday, July 30th. I'm Peter Cattell. Our top story: the People's Campaign has condemned the dangerous, insightful, inflammatory, and irresponsible commentary being disseminated by various media outlets on recent events, and has claimed that the media, and not BIU leader Chris Ferbert, manufactured the story that an ultimatum had been issued to Premier Michael Dunkley. The Premier later revealed that he had been contacted by the leadership of the People's Campaign to express concern about the heightened tensions in the community. The result is a shared statement that assures the people of Bermuda that their voices have been heard, and the government is prepared to engage in a discussion of all of the issues related to the PRC issue. The chairman of the Charity Commissioners, Richard Ambrosio, assured Vsb News today that there was absolutely no involvement by Home Affairs Minister Senator Michael Fay with the decision to defer CURB's application to be granted its annual registration.
There's been no connection whatsoever. I think the timing perhaps might have been unfortunate, but I think it's very important for me to clarify at this stage, of course, that the Minister of Home Affairs has no role to play whatsoever in the registration of charities. The decision taken to defer CURB's charitable status was made collectively by the Commissioners on their meeting of the 10th of July. To be fair to CURB, they did submit their application in mid-June, if I'm not mistaken, and so it was about a 3 or 4 week period between when their application was being vetted by the Registrar General and his staff and consideration by us. And then there was a bit of a lag as we considered our decision, circulated minutes for approval, and then wrote to CURB, I believe, on the 24th of July. But please let me disabuse the notion that somehow there's any political connection between the PRC issue and CURB's status as a charity.
Are you interested in the way a charity presents itself as a public sounding board? CURB has a job to do as an anti-racial thing, and that's a very delicate and sensitive area to be in. And they've tripped a little here because they've been very vocal lately on a number of subjects. People have had the criticism, which we've all heard, of they're dipping their toe in stuff that they shouldn't be involved in, but that's their decision. They wanted to be that. Do you feel that the Charity Commissioner has any role at all in, say, hauling them back from what they're doing?
No, not at all. I think that the work that CURB does is valuable and needs to continue. I believe that their charitable purposes are to educate the public and promote awareness about issues relating to racial justice, and that, of course, has been recognized under the law of England and Wales, which is applicable to Bermuda, to be recognized as a charitable purpose. Charities that perhaps might be overly political are something that we have to be alive to, because the law also says that you can't have purely political charities, but there's a difference between having a position on certain issues relating to their charitable purposes and being overtly political. And on that front, I think CURB is still acting appropriately, and nothing that they've done or said at this point leads the commissioners to be concerned.
Bermuda entered 2 of its finest town criers in this year's annual Town Criers competition in Dartmouth and Kingsbridge, Devon, UK, this past weekend, and they both came away with major awards. David Frith of St George's was declared Best Dressed Crier out of a field of 14, while Hamilton Town Crier Ed Christopher made it to 2nd place in the overall competition for Best Town Crier. They have both earned the Best Dressed Criers Award in past contests. It's cup match time again, and all over Bermuda people are getting in the holiday spirit. People can be seen wearing the colors of their favorite cup match teams, and excitement is definitely in the air. Tomorrow, all roads will lead to Somerset Cricket Club as people flock to the biggest cricket game of the year. Vsb News' Julius Smatt went to the Somerset Cricket Club to see how the preparations were coming along.
Somerset Cricket Club was bustling with activity as people prepared their sites, final coats of paint were being applied to the club building, and the cricket pitch was getting the final touches. We spoke with 2 men who said they have been attending Cup Match for as long as they can remember.
I'm 94 years old, and I come in Cup Match since I was 6 years old. I love cricket, right? I love cricket a lot, and I mostly see all the games, if possible. I'm something.
Okay.
Something right to my background.
Well, we're going to decorate it a little more. We're going to put a banner up there that says VIPs, and we've been organized since about the 70s, early 70s, and we've had a stall every year. We even had one in St. George, but we haven't had one in St. George for the last maybe 10 years. I've been going to cup match myself since I was 4 years old. I'm from Flats originally. People say I should be a St. George's fan. I've always been a Somerset fan. I had an uncle, the late Laurie Perman. He played for St. George's. I was always like to see him make a lot of runs, but I never wanted St. George's to win.
The DJs who will be responsible for playing the energizing music that goes along with Cup Match were busy at work preparing for the big day. But what goes into preparing this kind of a site?
Oh, lots of hours, lots of work, and a lot of speaker cable.
And a lot of heavy lifting.
And a lot of heavy lifting.
So how do you judge what to sort of play on the day? Do you go by the mood of the crowd?
We have a playlist. We'll go by the crowd. We'll go what's popular at the time. Just so we'll have a fun day with what music we hear.
You know, we just usually cater to everybody. So different music for different people and stuff. So.
And what team are you for?
St. George's.
Somerset.
The general consensus amongst those that we spoke with was that preparations were right on target.
They seem to be on schedule. It looks great. It feels good. But what? Today's Tuesday, Wednesday. They seem to be ahead of schedule and doing what Somerset does, and that's always puts on an amazing event for Bermuda.
What's your favorite part about Cup Match?
Oh, the whole atmosphere of Cup Match I like. I think Cup Match is not just today. It starts the minute the first county game is over with, which was 2 weeks ago. Then people just start thinking Cup Match, and so you start wearing your colors and sticking up for your team. It's not just a 2-day function to me.
And I see you're right for the right team.
Yes, I'm a Somerset fan.
And you're for which team?
Somerset.
And let's not forget those folks hard at work preparing the cricket field in the blazing hot sun. But how many hours have you been out here working on the field?
We've been here since 8:30 this morning. We were here all day yesterday. We'll be here all day tomorrow.
And about how many hours does it take, would you say, in total to get the whole field ready?
I'd say a good 24 hours.
And that's, I would imagine, you're sweating bullets right about now?
Absolutely.
And what is exactly this that you're doing?
This logo here is going to be the HSBC logo. We're just putting the base coat down now, and then tomorrow we'll put down the color.
One thing is for sure, whether your team's colors are red and blue or blue and blue, Cup Match fever is in full effect. I'm Julia Smatt reporting for Vsb News.
The new life being offered the formerly unoccupied $40 million Grand Atlantic site on South Shore of Warwick has delighted Stuart Hayward, president of BEST, and his team. The proposed Bermudiana Beach Resort Condo Hotel, with its pastel-colored walls, swimming pool and landscaping, is a long way from what Mr. Hayward describes as the unmarketable, unwanted, and unoccupied grey scar.
I think that's what's going to happen. Is going to be much more pleasing to the eye, which is going to have some benefit for the neighborhood. Plus, we're going to change it from a revenue drain to a revenue income to income. You know, at the moment there's about $1 million a year going out in maintenance and upkeep funds. You know, the place has to be maintained, and if we get that turned around, it will be of a positive note for the community as a whole. And the developers, they're trying a new approach. You know, it's not proven that this is going to work, but this concept of a tourist rental unit or tourist rental units is a good one. Now, there's two phases. There's the redevelopment at the top of the cliff. What's going to change there is a lot more planting, so it'll be more restful to the eye. They're going to change some of the bulkiness. You know, they're adding on elevators, so they can paint those in a way so that it looks like it breaks up the blockiness. And they're going to use pastel colors, which is going to fit in with the Bermuda image and be more pleasing to the eye than the gray stone blocky buildings that are in existence now. And then they recognize that they've got a real treasure in being right next to the Southlands, what is going to be the Southlands Park, or whatever they're going to name it, but the Southlands area. And they have an interest in that part of Southlands on the south side of the road becoming landscaped, because that'll enhance their property, but it also will have a spin-off effect for the neighborhood and the government's bottom line, in that work on Southlands, some of the work on Southlands is going to be covered or will be in cooperation with this new development.
Still ahead on the TV 11 News is Valentina with the weather preview.
Thank you, Peter. Fair to fine conditions continue, and clear conditions currently on the radar. Stay tuned for cut match weather details.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb Tv 11.
For your cut match picnic, save half price on Dole coleslaw. $1.99 for a 14-ounce bag. Frozen baby back pork spare ribs, $2.99 per pound. Rush on your favorite ribs. Kraft barbecue sauce, $1.69 for an 18-ounce bottle. 3.75-ounce bag, all varieties, Wise potato chips, just $1.49. Breyer's ice cream, $6.29 for all varieties of 48-ounce tubs. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more super cut match specials.
If you've been the victim of an uninsured or hit-and-run driver, your medical and other expenses may not be covered by your insurance. The good news is, there is coverage. The Motor Insurers Fund can provide you with compensation to help you through the crisis, whether suffering from physical injury, loss of wages, or extra expense incurred as a result of your injuries. For further information about the Motor Insurers Fund, visit mif.bm or call 505-8555. The Motor Insurers Fund, assurance after the unexpected.
Now at Big Savings Zone, there's the Kids Zone. See the latest bedroom ideas for tots to teens. There's a large selection of beds, bedding, all kind of furniture designed especially in mind for your child. And see the array of accessories for all ages. Big Savings Zone is the home of Ashley Furniture and Serta Mattresses in Bermuda. And the Kids Zone is only at Big Savings Zone, at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
TNT Video Productions this year are proud to partner with DeFonts Broadcasting Company Limited to bring you live coverage of Cut Match 2014 at 9 a.m. on July 31st and August 1st from Somerset Cricket Club on Vsb Tv 11. Brought to you by lead sponsor HSBC and major sponsors Department of Youth, Sport and Recreation and Digicel. Participating sponsors Lindo's Group of Companies, Cablevision, Paradise Games, Hunt's Food and Supplies, Argus, Ace, Ultimate Imaging, and BTC via the BTC Broadband Network.
To date, CADA has transported some 11,000 late-night revelers as a part of their Let Us Drive campaign. This according to the chairman, Anthony Santucci, who felt it necessary to repeat the organization's no drinking and driving mantra.
Our focus at CADA, encouraging responsible alcohol behavior, is to encourage residents of Bermuda who plan to consume alcohol over the Cut Match holiday to put a plan in place before they leave home. We would like to ensure that everyone that has the information is necessary not to drink and drive. Later today, you will notice that signs and banners going up around the island. These serve as a visual reminder not to drink and drive. The message is simple. A, B, C, D. Always use a bus, cab, or designated driver. Public transportation will be available to and from the game in Somerset on both days of Cut Match, and we encourage everyone to program into their cell phones the number of a taxi company or a taxi driver, so when you're ready to get home, you have an ability to call them. Another option is to select a designated driver who will continue not to consume alcohol during the Cut Match holiday, and that individual will get you home safely. The plan is simple. If you plan to consume alcohol, have a plan in place to get home safely. The message is simple. If you plan to consume alcohol,
have a plan in place to get home safely.
As to the Bermuda Road Safety Council's frequent warnings against drinking and driving, Dennis Lister Jr. seemed to adopt the saying, "You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink."
Well, as over the years with the Bermuda Road Safety Council, we have been about educating people on how to be safe and conscious road users. Education can only go so far. It also comes down to your personal choice. So, as we've seen with previous years with the tragedies and collisions on the roads, most of them, not all of them, were personal choice, whether it was to drink and drive, whether it was unattentive at the wheel, any other reason. So we can only do so much. We can educate, we can inform, we can teach, but your personal choice is what you choose to do, and we can't control your personal choice.
The massive remediation of Morgan's Point in Southampton has to come first before the local developers can hope to attract financing from overseas investors. And Public Works Minister Patricia Gordon-Pamplin appears determined that government will play its part.
Today marks the end of that first stage, which has involved the expenditure of some $8.2 million for the services of 6 asbestos abatement companies working in conjunction with each other, 8 pre-qualified excavation companies, and some 50 smaller companies and subcontractors on this project, with a total of over 100 employees working on the site. The contracts that were given include crane work, vegetation clearance, provision of DSL lines, trenching, demolition, trucking, and many other functions, and as you have heard, including asbestos abatement. The principals of MPL are pleased that this stage of the work has been completed. The next phase will continue and will involve the completion of all abatement on the MPL property, and is expected to be done by the end of the year, that's 2014, with a view to ensuring the handover by January of 2015. There will be the need to clean up some steel remnants from the demolition which are currently on the point, and which will be removed as soon as possible. In addition, for the government-retained parcel of the property, remediation will continue after the obligation to Morgan's Point Limited has been satisfied. This site at Morgan's Point is an ideal venue for the principals, for them to engage in further discussions regarding their financing to complete the construction phases, which are intended to ultimately construct 2 hotels, a boutique hotel in Phase 1 and a luxury hotel in Phase 2. This is good news for the construction industry and will also give MPL the opportunity to showcase their property as a venue for consideration should Bermuda be successful in the final bid for the America's Cup.
Now, here's a look at the daily markets, presented by Bias.
Here are the daily markets presented by Bias. The U.S. dollar held gains against its major peers, while Treasuries surged on Wednesday after the Federal Reserve raised its assessment of the U.S. economy while reiterating it is in no hurry to raise interest rates. U.S. stocks were little changed as data showing better than forecast economic growth was offset by weaker earnings and the Federal Reserve's decision to keep trimming asset purchase. 250,246 shares of Butterfield Bank and 6,800 shares of Ascendant traded hands today. Bank of Butterfield closed at $2, a gain of 0.5%, while Ascendant closed at $6.20, unchanged on the day. UK stocks fell after the US joined the European Union in imposing sanctions on Russia. The FTSE 100 closed at 6,773, a drop of 0.5%. The Nikkei rises for a 4th day as strong corporate earnings eclipsed weak industrial data. The Nikkei closed at 15,646, a gain of 0.18%. Mexican stocks fell sharply on Thursday, pulling back from their highest levels since late July last year, as investors cashed in on a recent surge. Treasury prices fell and yield rose after a report showed the economy grew faster than forecast in the second quarter. 5-year yield closed at 1.77%, a gain of 0.07%. U.S. dollar rose to a 4-month high today after the economy grew more than forecast in the second quarter, while the Federal Reserve trimmed the monthly pace of monthly bond purchases for a 6th consecutive meeting. That was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. More news after the break.
Hey, Donja, St. George's fan, 12 o'clock.
I see you got the colors on. Yes, by go Somerset. What? I mean St. George's. St. George's, all day.
Hey, quick, Somerset fan.
You guys going to the game?
Nah, we guys are just going to stay home, have a barbecue. We know Somerset's going to win anyway. We're going to listen to the radio.
Somerset! St. George's!
Are you serious?
What is going on?
Hey, Bermuda. It doesn't matter who you support. As long as you buy Family Center Cup Match ribbons, every Bermuda family is a winner.
The celebration of a Bermuda cricket legend is brought to you by Belco, Lindo's, Bex, Butterfield & Vallis, BAC, Colonial Insurance, Corona, Bermuda Bistro, and BF&M. Joseph Bailey, better known as Joe, made his cup match appearance debut for Somerset Cricket Club in 1963 as a spin bowler. However, Joe was most definitely an all-rounder. His best score with the bat in the Classic was 75. Joe played a cup match for 19 consecutive years, and 6 of those he captained the team and served as the vice-captain for 5 years. In 1981, he skippered Somerset to victory in St. George's, a feat few can boast. Bailey played league cricket for Somerset Cricket Club from 1971 to 1973 and won 3 consecutive Triple Crown championships. Internationally, Joe represented Bermuda many times against Australia, New Zealand, the United States, and many county teams from England. Joe competed in the ICC competition as well as served as a player, then as a manager, and finally was chairman for 2 ICC tournaments. Joe coached the Somerset Cricket Club and served on the club's management committee until he retired from the club life. Joseph Bailey, celebrating a Bermuda cricket legend.
Now it's time for Earl Baisden with the Sports Report.
Trey Houston missed out on a qualifying spot in the semifinals for the men's 200 meters, and Arantxa King missed out on a qualification spot for the women's long jump final right here in Glasgow, Scotland. Houston, running in Heat 7, finished 4th in a time of 21:39, which saw him finish 41st overall. King had a top leap of 6.02 meters, which saw her finish 12th in the women's long jump qualification round, Group B. King finished 21st overall. Cheyenne Smith remained in 9th place in the women's heptathlon. Smith finished 10th in the long jump with a top leap of 5.24 meters, and she now has 3,656 points with 2 events remaining. Last night, Nick Kime and Micah Franklin took on New Zealand pair Campbell Grayson and Martin Knight, the number 2 seeds in squash doubles, and they went down in straight sets 11-5, 11-3. On this, the eve of the annual Cup Match Classic, we once again bring you the 2014 teams. The champions, Somerset Cricket Club, have recalled Deontay Darrow and Jordan De Silva, while the challengers, St. George's Cricket Club, have recalled Jason Anderson, Craig Crockwell, Kyle Hutzel, and George O'Brien, while Shannon Rayner and Dalray Rollins were selected as Colts. The Somerset Cup Match team consists of
Chacon Edness as captain, Malachi Jones vice captain, Gennaro Tucker, Chris Douglas, Jordan De Silva, Greg Mabry, Trey Manders, Derek Bringman, Deontay Darrow, Taryn Frey, and Jacoby Robinson. Aronde Bascom will lead the challengers St. George's Cricket Club with Rodney Trott as the vice captain, O.J. Pitcher, Dalray Rollins, Shannon Rayner, Fikray Crockwell, Lateef Trott, Kyle Hutzel, Lionel Can, George O'Brien, and Jason Anderson. If you are unable to get to the game, not to worry. VSB have you covered. With the assistance of TNT Productions, the match will be carried live on VSB over the 2 days. The match begins at 10 a.m. on both days. Get the commentary from VSB 1450 AM Gold. Relax and enjoy the game. Having made it to the final stages of the America's Cup bidding process, Bermuda is set to host an America's Cup World Series racing event regardless of the outcome of the final venue selection the government has announced. Staying with sailing news, Sandy's Boat Club hosted the latest round of the Bermuda Fitted Dinghy Association's 2014 season racing in the Mangrove Bay. Elizabeth II, skippered by John Nichols, won the C.T. Fowley Cup. Contest 3, skippered by Peter Miller, won the 50th Anniversary Cup, and Challenger 2, skippered by Owen Cease, won the BMM Trophy. I'm Earl Basden reporting from Glasgow, Scotland for VSB Sports.
Start grilling this cup match with Purdue fresh chicken thighs or drumsticks, $1.99 per pound. Juicy whole seedless watermelons, $12.99 each. For your mac and cheese dish, Catelli macaroni, $1.89 for a 500-gram box. Save $1.71 on Libby's mayonnaise, $4.09 for a 32-ounce jar. For the holiday, 6-packs, regular or Diet Coke, $4.99. Have a safe and enjoyable cup match holiday from the marketplace.
You can count on us. Outlast any storm with the most advanced alkaline battery. This weather segment is brought to you by Duracell Quantum.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the VSB TV 11 Weather Report brought to you by the Bermuda Weather Service. I'm Valentina Holland. And taking a look at temperatures for today, 84 was the high at 1 in the afternoon, and 78 was the low at 4 in the morning. Currently 81 degrees, humidity is 80%, winds south-southeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, and the barometric pressure is slowly falling at 30.19 inches. Rainfall index so far for the month, 4.09 inches. Total for the year so far, 30.73 inches, and normally we would have seen 31.2. And for the satellite, the Bermuda Azores high continues to maintain warm conditions over the area. Expect generally fair weather for the cup match holiday with just a passing shower or two. A trough of low pressure moves across the area from east to west late Friday, producing a few showers into Sunday. And Gateway Cities, Atlanta, mostly cloudy, 85 degrees. Boston, partly cloudy, 81. Charlotte, mostly cloudy, 85. London, sunny and 77. Miami, thunderstorms, 89 degrees. New York, mostly cloudy, 81. Orlando, 95, partly cloudy. Philadelphia, partly cloudy, 84. Toronto, light rain, 73 degrees. And Washington, sunny and 77 degrees. And back at home tonight, partly cloudy, low near 79. Winds south-southeasterly, 10 to 15 knots. And for tomorrow, partly cloudy, possible light shower early in the day, high near 85. Winds southeasterly, 10 to 15 knots. Mariners report no warnings in effect. Seas inside the reef are up to 1 foot. Outside are 2 to 4 feet. Sea surface temperature is 83 degrees. And Mariners report for tomorrow, no warnings. Seas inside up to 1 foot. Outside 2 to 4 feet. Low tide 6:09 a.m. and high tide at 12:15. And for your 5-day forecast, on Friday, 84 degrees, mostly sunny, a few showers moving through during the night. Saturday, sunny periods with a couple of passing showers, high near 84. Sunday, partly cloudy with 1 or 2 showers, high near 85. And Monday, partly cloudy with a morning shower or 2, high near 85. And thank you for joining us tonight. Have a wonderful cup match weekend. Take care.
Outlast any storm with the most advanced alkaline battery. Today's weather forecast was brought to you by Duracell Quantum.
Thanks for watching. Happy Cup Match, everyone. Good night.
Peter Cattell's attire, courtesy of A.S. Cooper & Sons Limited. Wardrobe and makeup for Valentina Holland, provided by Gibbons Company.
Vsb TV 11, Bermuda.